Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have Lacey.
Hi,
She has a
how are you?
YouTube, yeah, she has a YouTube channel. It is called, go ahead,
Stella X Lumine.
Stella X Lumine. And if I remember
Hmm.
to, I will put her YouTube channel as a link underneath in the chats when
Yeah.
this video goes post. So, tell us what you do on your channel.
So when I'm active on my channel, I do a lot of readings. Basically, that's just what I'm focused on is readings. I was saying before, like I'm in this transitional period right now. It feels like everything is shifting under my feet, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. There's just some big shifts happening, and a lot of things are changing. And I've just kind of been sitting on the bench and getting downloads after downloads after downloads. It's exhausting. But when I am on my channel, I just do readings and I've showed my spell jars before, but mostly it's just about putting my word there, hopefully for people to see.
Yes, fantastic. So go check her out, her channel for sure. I I actually met her, Lacey, face to face. I was at
Yeah.
a metaphysical fair, and I
Yeah.
but I went by her to her table and all of that, and there was a lady that was sitting next to her who recognized me. You know, that public recognition. Oh, you
Yeah.
are. And then that's how Lacey and I was introduced to each other. And to be honest with you, it was a great meeting, great first meeting. You know how you just like people right off the bat. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
one of those type of meetings. And then of course we had a barbecue. I was invited to the barbecue, people, at her house.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I think that was a good mixture of people and good energy, and Lindsay and Chris were there. It was really good. I'm really looking forward to doing that again when, my guides are like, okay, you can get back, you can get out there now.
I agree. I agree. And she's talking about spiritual guides, not guys.
No.
I made that mistake earlier. Anyhow, Lindsay, who is also on my channel, who does the
Mhm.
emotional coding, I met Lindsay through Lacey. So that's how we all should just do a video with all three of us in it. But anyways,
That'd be fun. Yeah.
my creative mind keeps on just tingling all the dang time. Anyhow, so today before the last time you saw Lacey on my channel, we talked about some pretty sketchy things. Not sketchy, that's the wrong word. Um, Controversial maybe is a better word for that. Not sketchy.
Yeah.
Good Lord, Sheila.
Yeah. It's okay.
So we talked about some uncontroversial stuff, but today we're going to be doing some readings. But first, Lacey has like a little like an experience and things that are going on in her life that I can relate to. So go ahead and start with your story.
So, I was just saying how this shift, these things that are happening right now are super heavy, I think, especially for readers or healers or, extra sensitive people. Um, we feel it all. Even the things we don't know that are going on, we're feeling it, and there's projection from others and their pain. We're receptive to this. And I'm sitting outside on my porch and just thinking about the world and everything that's been going on. And I start bawling my eyes out and like, God, I don't understand. Help me to understand. I just want this to all make sense because it just doesn't. And these this butterfly starts flying by my face and it goes to the left and then it comes back to the right and then it comes back again and I'm watching it go like around the corner of my house and then this praying mantis jumps on my arm. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? These insects are coming to me now. And um, of course I screamed and, like jumped out of my
Unexpected.
chair. Yeah. Um, and then I started to get visited by these owls. There was one owl that came and woke me up a couple mornings later. And then the other day he brought his mate. and they were mating outside my window and they were hooting with each other. So um, I guess it's to say if anybody's out there is looking for a sign, or if you are wondering if God can hear you, if your guides can hear you, if your angels can hear you, they can, and they're answering you. Maybe just not the way you think, but they are if you sit still long enough to hear the answer.
I agree. And I know off camera we were kind of talking about how we're getting emotionally like hyper emotion is how I describe it, where in the middle of the day I can feel like such powerful emotions that it brings tears to my eyes. Now I know that I'm empathic and I could be literally just passing by somebody in a car who has some severe emotions, but this seems deeper, like earth
Yeah,
deeper,
yeah.
right? Like down
Big
in,
things are going on. Yeah.
yeah. I keep on saying the same things, and I would take it easy. Wow, something's happening, and that's
Hmm.
exactly how I would come out of that little emotional. I used to call them hijacking. That's a negative condemnation, but I now think of it as I'm involved and I'm included, right, in the
Yeah.
emotional healing or shift or whatever it is that's going on nowadays.
I think that's really interesting to the point, well, to this, I wouldn't say it's a fact, but it's occurring to me is that, we always say how we're all connected and we have a missing piece of each other, and it can't work really without us all. Unfortunately, not everybody's going to go. Um, but we all have to start cooperating with each other. And I thinking back to that story where these signs are coming to me, they're communicating with me. I think that one, of course, the veil is thinning um, rapidly, but I think that it's a concentrated effort in some sort of fashion if we were all open to anything, the flow, allowing things to happen. If we were all focused in the same kind of way, in the same direction, possibly, perhaps, um, communication could open up in a way that we could all hear, that we could all understand. Because there's this, I don't think that it's just so mysterious anymore. I don't think that it's vague or fleeting or elusive. I think that they're communicating with us constantly at this point. And it's only going to get more clear, and it can faster again if we have this sort of united front effort, I think.
Agree. And that brings me to the first question that we have. Are our spiritual guides, spirit, universe, are they communicating with us differently today than they have been in the past due to the shift? Let's read some cards on that.
Okay. Mm.
I know. Let's see what the guides have to say. Because I just have this feeling that we who have been doing this work for quite some time,
Yes.
we are so immersed in it that we forget that because we're so used to them talking to us, but
Right.
they have to change. You know how it is you have to adjust your sails in order to communicate with those who haven't been listening. And
Right.
they will do that. That's their whole existence is to awaken as many souls as possible.
Yeah. And to
So
connect them to the divine love that is so readily available.
correct. So
Yeah.
are they shifting and adjusting their sails, or and how are they communicating differently to them and to us?
So the first deck of cards that I pulled, of course, is my main man, Michael, Archangel Michael. And the first card that fell out was it's time to leave this unhealthy situation and then focus upon divine health, divine and perfect health. So that tells me that the things that we're ingesting into our system, our electricity, our phones, the air, there are some unhealthy aspects that maybe make it harder to communicate. Perhaps it's blocked for us. Um, as far as are they still communicating the same way or is it different? It has to be different because now we're different because we have our phones in our face, because we're at work, we have kids, we have this, we have that, bills. Um, and I think that's why people feel perhaps they're not communicating or only certain people can because of these blocks that are happening. And then there's also this element of fear because the next card that came out was let go of fear now. Um, we are living in a time of fear. And maybe that's shaken a lot of people's faith. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be faith, as in religion. It's just the word that I'm using, or our beliefs. We've lost our touch. How do I say this? We've lost the closeness that was once there. But are they still communicating with us? Yes. Is it different now? Yes, unfortunately, because we're different now, but they're still very much trying to. There's a system of elimination that needs to take place in the way that we live our lives right now.
I agree, 100%. I actually picked up my cards. I cannot remember the names of them, but I can't remember the names of them. Anyhow, the Lotus, I think they're my Lotus cards. This is the outside of them. So these are really fascinating. I've been working with these cards for quite some time, especially doing personal readings. And this right here is the Griffin. So
Okay. Romance.
that's my maiden name.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
asking the question, how are the spirits speaking to the people differently? Through us.
Yes.
They are drawn to us. We are able to
Yes.
communicate better. We're stronger at our craft. We're stronger at our connection. They're literally like strengthening us to be that out in there. And that just made me think, because I knew that was in the romance, right? We make it look good. You know what I mean? We make spirit look good. And we draw them in with the romance of love and kindness and
Of
rebirth.
the word.
The
Yeah.
word, exactly. We draw them in. They use us to romance the people, to open them up. Who doesn't like to hear some voice of reasoning and soothing and stuff like that? So that was really nice. And then
Yeah.
the Medusa. Now that was an interesting one on the communications out here. The Medusa, the adversity.
Okay.
So the adversity, sometimes you have forgotten what is gone. Sometimes they appreciate what is still remains, right? So we're all
Right.
caught up in this. We're losing this, we're losing that, we're losing our rights, we're losing this. What we need to do is, the Medusa says, let's concentrate on what we still have. And
Okay.
let's keep that and grow that. We have something. We have not lost. The leaves are falling off, but we still have the root of the tree. To
Yeah.
to
Sorry, I didn't mean to
grow
do that.
to grow on. And then here's another one, siren. So in the expectations, right? The siren song is here, and is the siren song of the people. The plight. This is what's been going on. You know how long it's been? You know how many times we hear, I've been telling you guys that for years. You know how like
Yes.
that's what we have been
Told
hearing.
you so.
Yeah, exactly. We've been hearing for so long. Told you this. We've been talking about that for years. We've been telling you
Yeah.
about that. We've been whistleblowing for years. So this is the siren. So the siren is getting louder. There's people, the expectations, the learning to trust the life journey. The siren
Yeah.
is getting louder. Okay, so this one here is rebirth. I can't say that name on top. Can you? Can you see that? Me and my dyslexia.
I can't see it.
Yeah, it is Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Leviathan. Okay, we'll go there.
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Now I'm from another country, so if I say things weird,
It
it's
works
just
for me. But it's rebirth. The
okay.
rebirth, right? How are they
Yes.
communicating with this nowadays, and how they have readjusted themselves to
Yes.
the rebirth. Remember, you have a capacity to choose, and that how long have they? You have the capacity to choose to vote. You have the capacity to choose to vote. You have the capacity to choose this or that, and that is getting louder and louder within our
Yeah.
that. And then we have this one here, and I can't say the name of that one either. Can you see that? DWYILGI. I don't. Anyways, it's timing.
YLG, DLG.
Somebody will know in the chat, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Help us.
Yeah. Timing.
Timing.
Now,
Mhm.
one thing Spirit has on their side and has a golden ticket with is timing.
Yeah.
They know exactly when to deliver a message or to deliver a hard truth or or you know whatever. Timing has always been, and so that is one way they are also using to communicate with those out there that are still feeling out there and needing that awakening that is coming. So that was really interesting, and because they have to readjust themselves for sure.
Yeah. You know, that's funny because the siren, so of course I was watching The Little Mermaid um today and yesterday. I bawled my eyes out at the end. Oh my God. That's a whole other story, but it was
I
very
haven't seen
sweet
it yet, so
ending.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a very sweet ending, but you know, as they say, mermaids, they have sirens. They're sirens, they have their siren song. And I think, you know, you're talking about the romance of us and people like us and the way we attract people to our words so we can get the messages delivered. It's often through our voice, like a siren song as well. That helps to communicate that. And I think that maybe that's a sign for somebody that may be watching this, somebody who sings or um, they'll know if I'm talking to them. Maybe they just watched The Little Mermaid 2 or that movie means something to them, but there's something in their voice or the message that they need to give. If you're thinking of something, you've been getting signs or these thoughts in your head that's repetitive. I'm being told to tell you to move forward for whoever that is. You have something to share that the world needs. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Well, that's exactly the thing. It's if you sing, sing. If you play an instrument, play the instrument. If you play the piano,
Yes.
play the piano. Stop holding back. Just go
Yeah.
do it. And that is the voice. That is the siren. That is the communications that they're trying to communicate with us, which is fabulous.
I
All
think the
right.
adversity card too is a little warning for us that it's gonna get more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want it to, and we're kind of over it and we're tired of it. We really, really are. But we know that we're in the midst of the shift. And that brings me
Yeah.
to the next question.
Sure.
So, what tools do we need to endure this shift to the end? As
Mm.
exactly. So, what does the card say? What does spirit say?
So I drew my angel gods and goddesses cards. And while we were talking before, and the first one says angel of families. The angels surround both you and your family at this moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be, I don't know if you guys can see that. Sorry, the reflection, but that doesn't have to be blood. That can be chosen family, your coven, whatever you call it, you know, your group, familia, whatever. Um, strengthening your bond with the people that you love, elevating love, love is like, you know, all I'm hearing right now. And a great way of displaying that and exerting that forward is to have a family around you, blood or friends, whatever, and having a tight unit. That's one way, finding that support. Goddess of sacred power, you are being encouraged to take a leading role in your current situation. Now, I think that's something like we can all relate to, in the fact that we're sitting by and we're watching how this world is being affected, how our water supply is being taken, our food's being taken, our air is being polluted, you know, and this is where we live, and this is the only place we're ever going to be. And we're allowing dozens of rich people, whoever, to decide the quality of our life. Meanwhile, we're sitting here complaining about it to each other, but we're not progressing forward. We have to take the lead role. Nobody's going to come and save us, and we're just going to follow. We all have to take that step in our lives. And I've talked to somebody about this before, and you know, I've had someone say to me, I thought that somebody was going to come rescue us. No, we're going to rescue ourselves and each other. And that's just how it's got to be. And then the next one says, Goddess of Psychic Protection, what you believe you create, no one can harm you. And again, that's about taking the lead role in your life, um, making that music, making that project, writing that book, getting information out there, um, trusting your intuition, trusting your connection with source, or whatever it is that you believe in, getting back to who you are, who you truly are, who we truly are. Um, in answer to your question and the tools that we need. I think that those are some big ones right there.
Absolutely. As you can see, Panda had to speak up here earlier.
Your dog. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, speak up. Absolutely. So what are the tools? You know, the funny thing is the tools, I want to ask, what tools do we need in order to get through this shift? It's either going to get worse, better, indifferent, whatever it is that we're going to do. I also drew lovers, the love.
You see?
They love. So I've always been confused about love. I don't know about anybody else, but I did not come from a family that showed me love. They showed me indifference. They showed me a whole bunch of things that I learned from that. Love was not necessarily one of their top priorities in making sure this child knew what love was. So when I went out into the world, you know, is it over here? Is it over there? Is it with this? Is that, is the word? Is it an act? Is it a feeling? Is it this? What is it? Is it, you know, every which way trying to find out what love was. And, you know, the funny thing is I still really can't really put a finger on it. I really can't. However, I do know that when I am experiencing quote unquote a love situation, I feel included. And I thought that has to be the one basis rule, I guess, if you want to put it, of feeling and enjoying and experiencing love, is that inclusion and also the lack of judgment. Like nobody cares, you know, you can be exactly who you are. It's rare. I keep my family, and well, I keep my friends small. I really do. It doesn't seem like it, but I keep, you know, I don't throw out there with everybody. I don't have to be popular with everybody. It's just not me. And I do keep my circle really small. And the reason why is because I feel like I can one of my friends always says intimacy, not sex, but you know, intimacy is considered an avenue for love to show up. And I thought, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to invite him over to my house because I don't like that, you know? But you know, the intimacy. So yeah, I understand the love. And then what I got next was what tools do we need? And loss came up and I was really confused. I was like, loss, and what I got out of that was that take your losses and we'll move on.
Yeah.
What we have not learned in this culture, and this is not a culture. This is I think revenge teaching culture we have in this country in the America.
Yeah.
What we're not really strongly taught is take your loss, get the lesson, move out, move it away. That's enough, right?
Yeah.
Take your losses as an adult, as a big girl.
Yeah.
Big girl panties on and move out. Go move out, Sheila. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is talking about. What tools do we need? We need to learn how to take a loss and move on. This one right here.
Yeah.
This one right here is the good coming back to you. So we always talk about karma and this, that, and the other. So what we put out into the world will come back to us. Another way of experiencing the shift and how to use your tools. So you're going to start producing what you put out there and being very aware. You're going to be aware of your thinking, being aware of your words, being aware of who you're talking to, who you're talking with. The words, the actions, everything that you're doing, the awareness is going to be so heightened within you because you know everything that you do has a boomerang. I always talk about that. It's all boomerangic.
Yep.
So
Yep.
make sure you're keeping that as pure as possible. That is an absolute way to use your tools, the things that you know to work to get through this shift that may get worse or better or indifferent. Okay. And then when we had the sensitivity, we're not talking about sensitive like somebody calls you a name and you have to go into the corner and be the victim for an hour. I'm talking sensitivity. Be careful where you're going and what you're doing. The sensitivity is not a curse, it is a gift.
No. Yes.
It is an
Yes.
absolute gift. So embrace your sensitivity of the universe, the energy.
Yeah. And that shark, understand who's a predator and who's your friend. And also that was going back to when I was saying the foods that we're ingesting, the things that mess with our sensitivity, our allergies and things like that. That's your call to home, so to speak. And when you're polluting it or you're damaging it, you can't really receive as well. So that's what that made me think of too.
Agreed. Agreed. If you're eating a whole, like I hate to bomb on like potato chips and this, that, and the other, but it's the
No.
truth. I love them too. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I look at them going, I think I need a day. And I'm going to
Yeah.
sit with my potato chips.
Yeah.
Also, I'm very aware that a continuation of a food like that can really do some damage. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're talking about. And what we have next is your garden. Prune your garden. She's the queen of her garden. The fence there is nobody comes in without permission. And
Yeah.
that that has been something, even with this country with women, right? We have
Yeah.
figured out when somebody comes into our vicinity without permission, we've been the polite, we dodge, we scoot, we do that. What we don't do is address it. Like, get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. One of our tools right here, right now. You're going to start blocking and you're going to be aggressive with you are not allowed here. Bye. With the way you talk, the way you act. It doesn't matter. Whatever the situation, whatever the environment is, you get to do.
You have to protect yourself. Yeah. And I think that, of course, as women, we have to be careful in situations like that because it's not unheard of for a man to act in violence if a woman says no or she holds her boundaries. Just remember that you can say anything with enough grace and tact, and that might not always work with some people, but I guess the point is that you can say anything that you need to
Yeah.
um,
Use
if
your
you have
words.
to. Yes.
That's what I always tell my granddaughter. I'm like, use your words.
Yeah.
Tell her like it would. Use your words. If you have something you need to express it.
Yes.
Hold back.
Yeah.
Use your words and be that way. And it's okay
Yes.
because
Yeah.
we're going to start getting some shit. Okay. This is what's coming towards us in the shift. But you look
Yeah.
at her, she's a fit woman. She's in her jogging and yoga pants and all of that for a
Mm-hmm.
reason. She's fit. I'm not saying that we all have to be skinny and run a 10K. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being spiritually fit, mentally fit, and emotionally fit
Yes.
in order to handle all of this that's going to start coming towards us. Now, with all of those tools that we have, we will all get to the other side, which the reward is that all of the stuff that we're going through right now will be gone. That's the reward. The shift is so powerful that we to walk through this, that we are going to get to the other side where we're going to start building things up instead of tearing everything. Well, right now it's a tear down. And
Big tear down.
what
Yeah.
it needs to be teared down is being tore down.
Mm.
But on the other side of that, we get to move up, and we get to move up together with a better look. I always think Star Trek, and this sounds so fun.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, Star Trek. So this sounds so funny and so silly, but I'm a Star Trekkie. I love the Star
I
Trek
love Star Trek.
generation. I
Yeah.
will every 4 to 5 months, I will rewatch the whole series, right?
Yeah.
And it reminds me so much that they don't have these problems in the future.
No, but you know what the exciting part is that we're at the very beginning of that. It just sucks because I'm not going to see it. And I want to be on the Enterprise. I want to go. I
Me
want to
too.
travel the unknown. I want to go. It's just I'm here and I got to do this work and that's okay. Um, but this is the very, very, very start,
Yeah.
if
Yes.
anybody's wondering. You know, the
Very-
stuff that's going on now, we got at least another 7 more years of it,
Ooh, 7 more years.
at least.
Well,
There's a lot that needs to stop.
there's a lot, but the 7 years are not going to be as intense every single 7 years.
No, I think, well, the system coming down, the castle coming down, the foundation changing. There's a lot of players, there's a lot of people, their families, their great whoever have been in these positions for a really long time.
They have.
And now that things are changing, these roles are changing, and it has way more to do with us than maybe we realize. The way that we're affected by people who have the power, you know. So there's a lot that has to happen. Will it always be this sad? No, I don't think so. There's going to be ups and downs, and more things will happen to verify. But we got at least another 7 years.
I
Yeah.
understand. Which brings me to the final question that I have for us. Okay, so everybody knows what happened in Alabama on the
Yeah.
right. Everybody knows what happened. I mean, the memes about the chair has cracked me up
Man.
for weeks. Okay, everybody getting their chair ready. All right. Okay. So, anyways, what is that? What is that port is called again?
Oh goodness, I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. I just don't
Somebody,
remember.
I know somebody will remember. So sorry. This is what happens to us. We don't remember names and things. Anyways, that port used to be something horrible, right? That's where all the
Yes.
slaves came. That's where all of the trading came, all of that. And
Mhm.
is it Birmingham? Is it Birmingham? No. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
are
think
we getting it
so.
wrong? Okay,
It's
Birmingham.
Birmingham or Montgomery. It's one.
Montgomery. There it is. Okay, Montgomery. Thank you. So Montgomery. So that's where all the trading and stuff like that. So the history of that port was, and then all of a sudden a historical event. And the reason why I say it's a historical event is because the understanding of what really happened that day, right? I have been in talking in, like, you go on TikTok and you can go into lives and you can go into lives with our Black and brown brothers and sisters, whatever, and they will explain to you the history, what happened, what they see, what they know about their own
Yeah.
history, right? And so the history was that nobody came to each other's to save each other's because they would get it too. They all were taught not to help. So with that, I know you probably would be better at talking about this, but anyways, so they talk about that. So what happened that day the most, and I'm going to have you also give your own assessment of it from a white people's
From my point of view.
yeah, from a white people's assessment, we were like, what?
I think it's very much what you see is what you think it is what it is. We're done. We will not be treated as such anymore. There's no more whipping. There's no more cotton fields. There's no more boy. There's no more any of that.
Yeah,
There's no more girl. There's no more, as you know, we've said, there's change that's coming. And that was just a signal that that's enough, because it's already bad that that history is there, and I'm sure those people know, what went on there. They lived there. They probably know the history of that port. And this stuff still goes on. People are still acting in these ways, as you saw with those men that attacked that security guard, um, because they can. And watching that for me was just one of those moments where I was like, oh no, 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 we're done. We're done with that. And I thought about, my dad when he was a kid in Memphis, Tennessee in the 50s and the 60s, and the things that he was subjected to. And I'm still watching this happen to my people. And it was a universal, excuse me, hell no, this ain't happening no more.
yeah,
So it's just a turning of the tide.
yeah,
Um, and I don't think it's just an African American thing that we've all united in. I think it's everybody, who feels offended by that behavior.
Yeah.
We have so much going on. Quit trying to keep us in Stone Age. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to move forward. It's a fed upness. If that's a word, it's it's a new dawn. It's a new day. Um, as the song
100%
says,
agree.
and that's funny because I have the Fool card here. It's a new beginning. We're at a new beginning. That's what we were saying before. We are at this juncture. We're at this, well, I wouldn't say fork in the road. It's just, this is a new time, and we're at the very, very, very beginnings of it. But things are changing now. And then I have the Six of Cups. So in reference to something like that, this cup can mean about coming back together with somebody. It can be nostalgia. It can be about connection, childhood memories, the things I was saying, watching these things and reminiscing of times where this was acceptable and okay. And I think that, it's about reconciliation within ourselves and with each other. We talked about that before, how we need one another, and that we're made to love each other, and we're all connected. Unfortunately, have this thing that we need to settle. One thing is racism and how disgusting it is and how it needs to be addressed. Um, it can't all be kumbaya, as you saw with that, but there's a reconciliation with each other, with, again, divine, coming back to source, coming back to ourselves. Unfortunately, there's going to be some Five of Swords about it. There's going to be a lot of fighting. So in order to eradicate this kind of thinking, this kind of behavior, they had to fight, and they knew that, and that's why that changed. And I bet you they won't ever do that again. So,
Peace those people, right?
no, they will not. They won't do that again.
I agree. As like, well, I don't, nobody wants to support, violence. Okay, well, that's not what we're talking about here. Okay. However, I was so involved in the, yes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like aware of it like instantly. Whoever was posting it was like 2 or 3 minutes after it all happening, and I was one of the first ones to watch it because they changed the video a lot, like
Yeah.
edited. But anyways, I remember watching the guy who jumped in the water and
They take
swam
picture.
over. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's it. That's the energy we all need to get behind.
Mhm.
Now, I know that as a white woman, I need to know what I need to do, because I know if I jump in there, I'm going to just look like the other white people. So I need to know what my plight is. And they told me, call the police, videotape it, make sure that you tell the truth, not
Yeah.
allow them to lie, and things like that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. I can stand on the sidelines and videotape, use my privilege for the right reasons. Like, no,
Yes.
they're lying. This is what happened. I'll show you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. So I love the cards that you have, but the question that I do have, I'm trying to find the words to phrase this without it sounding crazy, but what shift in that community has happened because of that? In the cards that like have spirit tell us, and through the cards, what is the actual shift that has happened for them?
I think it's just I wouldn't say reminder, but verification that we got each other's back. And in the time when Africans were brought here, and that ugly, dark, stained history of this country, there was psychological warfare. There were books that were written. There were vast efforts to take us away from one another, breeding us, selling us, taking our kids away from us, whatever, all those horrible things. I think that one big thing that we have seen is that we got each other's back. And maybe it's not just us fighting for us anymore, though we still are. We have allies too, but mostly it's that we know that we have each other's back.
Yeah.
And that we aren't what those men wanted that guy to be, and the subhuman that they treated him as, and that those days are over.
Yeah.
that they're over,
100%.
and that
They,
the things that our great grandmas went through and our grandpas and our uncles and our aunts and the fighting that they did and the sacrifices that were made are paying off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shift, that's something we can hold on to. That
Yes.
shift is something that we can just keep on expanding and giving our
Yes.
love and energy to that, and recognizing how great big huge that was.
Yeah.
Literally
And, you know,
for it to be filmed even.
yeah. And for people to respond the way that they did
Yeah.
and to understand that this is still happening. And it's not what you think it is, or it isn't what they're saying. It isn't, it is what we say it is. It's exactly that. And, but I think the biggest thing is that we've learned that, I feel in my community that we're all very connected to one another, whether or not we realize it. There's just a very deep rooted feeling that exist between us, and I can only speak to my experience, right?
Right.
But it's still there, and that it wasn't broken, and that we can find each other once more. But I think the biggest thing about that was is that we got each other's back. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
Well,
sure.
my card said the pressure cooker.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's all gonna come tumbling
The
down.
pressure cooker was there. It has been building, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden they got an interlude.
Yeah,
Just pausing to understand how important that was, and their wishes that your ancestors and have been wishing for, and all those who
yeah,
support the wishing and the prayers and everything that they have been putting into it, has just become a race to the twin flames, to the equal, a race to the equal, the twin flames. I know that twin flames has a lot to do with, like love and all that, but mirrored
hmm,
souls. When
yes,
we look at each other, we should see the equal, it should be a mirror of me. Like I see Lacey as a mirrored soul of mine,
yeah, a kindred spirit.
a kindred spirit. That's our goal. That's where
Yes.
we need to be at the end of all of this, in this shift, is when we look at each other,
Hmm.
we're going to see our souls and the
Yeah.
and the twin flame within us.
Yeah, and I wish that I could be there to watch, people fly into outer space and meet other species, and I'm jealous,
Well,
and
maybe we will. We'll just come back down, Lacey.
I don't want to. I'm
Well,
done.
we can when we go uterus shopping, we're going to find better families, okay?
Okay, but it's got to be like 500 years in the future, not
Well, we can
anytime
well, yeah, we can
soon.
pick, we can look down, see where they're at. I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting.
Oh yeah, that looks fun.
And then we'll go uterus shopping and we'll find better families to be in, right?
Yeah, I think we earned it. I think so.
Exactly. So anyways, thank you, Lacey. I think those are excellent
Welcome.
questions, excellent answers. And yeah. Oh, and so the next time we come together, we're
Mhm.
definitely have that race talk. Is that what we're
Yeah,
going to call it?
yeah,
Okay.
I think it's important that we talk about that.
We
Yeah.
do. We have some clarifications and some, we're going to put together a pretty good uh session of
Yeah.
questions, answers, and things like that. I mean, let's take the opportunity to just get it all on the table, right?
Sure.
When you're willing, we're all willing. I'm
Yeah.
willing, you're
Exactly.
willing, we're all willing.
Yes.
All those who are willing to just remove it. Remove,
And to the ones that may be tired of talking about it or hearing about it, let's do the work so
yeah,
we don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's
yeah,
do the work.
the work to be done. Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I'll name the video of the work that's being done.
Awesome. I like that.
All righty, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, yeah, you want me to tune in and ask when he's going to propose? I can definitely. He's cheating on her. He's cheating on her. What? Yep. And he has been for like 6 months. She's asking when he's going to propose. Yep. Been trying to tell her. Sent her all sorts of repeating numbers, made her smack her head on the wall a couple times. Tons of stuff. She's definitely not listening about it. So now you want me to tell her? Oh, yeah. And what exactly should she do about it? Should she confront him? Should she break up with him? Should she look at his phone? Oh, she knows she needs to break up with him. She's just terrified about being alone. Okay. That's going to be fun to say. No, it's not. Okay, I'll try. So, your guides are saying that, they're not big fans of, seriously. Tell her. Your guides say your boyfriend's cheating on you.